Patrick put his hand out in front of him and walked. Chapter 6. Good Ghosts. Patrick put his hand out in front of him and walked in the direction of his room, or at least what he thought was the direction of his room. He couldn't see anything. He tried his best not to cry. Tears would only make it harder to see. "Natalie? Mom? Rachel? Jason?" he called out. The laughter in the hall had stopped as quickly as it had started. Now it was eerily silent. Something next to him whispered, "This way, Patrick. Come with us." He felt something grab his arm. He pulled back. The thing laughed. "We don't want to hurt you, Patrick," it said. But then its voice got mean and hard. "We just want you to stay." Something grabbed him on the other side, and he spun away from it. "Where are your sister and your mother, Patrick?" Another voice hissed in his ear. "They must not love you. They must not care. We do, though. We do." Patrick swallowed back his tears again and walked forward. He felt hands grip his shoulders and his shirt. They tried to pull him back. "Let go!" he yelled, finally letting the tears fall. "They do too love me!" Suddenly, the hands released him. A new voice said, "They do, Patrick. They're looking for you. Go find them. We'll hold off these phantoms." He turned. A kind, smiling face peered through the fog. But as soon as he had seen it, it disappeared. The fog seemed to be thinning slightly. Patrick could now see the carpet in front of him. He kept moving. He heard noises behind him. A huge bump shook the hall, as if furniture had been thrown. Voices hissed, "He is ours!" Other voices said, all at once, "Leave him alone!" Patrick stumbled forward, terrified that something else would grab him. And then he heard the most beautiful sound. "Patrick!" his mother yelled. "Where are you?" his sister called. For a second, Patrick felt paralyzed with happiness. "Mom? Natalie?" he said softly. "Patrick!" his mom shouted through the fog. "We hear you, honey! Stay right where you are! Keep talking so we can come to you!" The tears flowed freely now. "Okay," Patrick whispered. Then he said louder, "Okay!" More bumps and thuds sounded down the hall. Doors slammed shut again and again. "I'm sorry I lost you, Natalie," Patrick said as he stood in the white haze. "I'm sorry I can't seem to be a good enough brother. And Mom, I'm sorry I've let you down when it comes to Natalie. I promise I'll try harder. I promise if we find each other again, I'll never roll my eyes. I'll never be mad if I have to find Natalie after she's wandered off. I'll never..." Something grabbed him, and Patrick fought to get away. But then he smelled his mom's perfume as arms pulled him close. His mom, hugging him tight, said, "Don't you think for 1 second you have ever let me down, Patrick. I love you and Natalie more than anything in this world, or in any other. I love you both. I'm so sorry if you didn't know that." Patrick let a sob leak out. He wrapped his arms around his mom and his sister. Natalie squeezed him back. "I'll always find you, Patrick. You can never lose me," she said, sniffling. As the three stood together in a hug, the fog began to clear completely. In the hall stood about 10 other people, including Jason and Rachel. They all had kind but worried faces. A woman in an old-fashioned dress and bonnet stepped forward. "You must go now," the woman said. She had the nice voice Patrick had heard earlier. "Leave through your room. We can only hold them off for so long." The fog began rolling in again behind the group of trapped guests. With it, sinister laughing and whispers started to wash over the hallway. "Go!" yelled Jason and Rachel at the same time. The family didn't have to be told twice. They grabbed hands and sprinted to their room. Chapter 7.